Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Procurement, the only show you need to master the art of procurement. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Hello, listeners. Thank you very much for coming back to another episode of Let's Talk Procurement. Here with me in the studio, the virtual studio, of course, is channel favorite, but channel member, Luke 10. How the bloody hell are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. It feels good to be in the top two presenters on this channel. Hashtag top two and I'm not two. That's what I like to say.
Appreciate that.
It. That's a think of that one. You've got to process that for a little bit.
I'm going to be honest. It's been a while since we've done a recording. I know we've both been sort of in and out all over the place. What I can kind of tell from looking at you, you've probably had a nice vacation. You've got a lovely little glowy tint, so you've done well there.
Yeah, I went to Chernobyl. That's why I'm radiating.
Write that down.
Wow, back with a disaster joke. Great. Well, I don't even know what to say to that. That's outrageous. Almost as bad as your haircut. Or lack of.
Mate, I need a haircut. So what you just made me think of, for some random reason, was have you heard of unnecessary censorship?
I feel like I have, but go on.
It's basically like say it's a Disney film or something, and they'll bleep out one of the words. It's just such an innocent word, and it makes it sound sus.
Oh, I love that.
So I think we need to get Aaron to bleep out some of the words of.
My cat's got a swollen.
How is that related to procurement?
Oh, my SIPS certificate needs renewing next month, and it's got my on it.
I went to see the supplier. It was.
That did remind me actually. I kind of love it when you get like a scene from a film and someone says, music can really affect how you see the film, and it's like Harry Potter's just chilling with like Snape or something, and the music's all central, and all of a sudden you just question everything you've ever watched.
It's like 50 Shades of Grey tune for
Yeah.
Like a Nemo scene or something.
Yeah, and all of a sudden that fish is looking damn good. You want to start clowning around with that bad boy.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
So, anything on the notice board? Swiftly, swimming on from that joke. Bulletin, notice board, whatever name we feel like plucking out of our ass today. So, not really anything too new. Had a couple of listeners text in, so do appreciate all the feedback. And if you do use the text button, leave your name, because actually what we can do is we can push it through to our website. So if you go onto our website, link in the description below, you can actually see your message floating around. And actually at the moment we've had a couple of pleasant messages, but if you do want to go for some stinker horror shows, I'm sure we'll put those in as well. We do love it, good or bad, so feel free to do that. And if you really want to get in touch formally, you can always reach out on our email address, which is in the description below. However, I have heard that some of you listeners only tune in for this bit. Luke 10?
The email address is 2lukes1sip@gmail.com. That's the number 2, Luke's plural, the number 1, CIP@gmail.com.
So, I was thinking on that just before we dive into today's topic. Some of our listeners haven't got their SIPs yet, so they're obviously a little bit thick. Do you want to just explain what a plural is?
A plural is when I get my MSIPs and they say, how much do you want your salary to be? And I say, just give me whatever Luke 1's getting and add a 0 on the end. And then I'll get plural of what you're earning.
They'll give you a 0. 0.0011k payment, yeah.
Yeah. You're actually paying them to work, aren't you?
Look, if procurement was such a great career, would we be pumping out podcasts begging for sponsorship?
Selling our soul to deodorant companies for a sponsorship.
Speaking of which, let's take you on a journey to today's sponsor, based in Africa, Lynx Africa. Probably shouldn't go there, but
Do you think we could actually get sponsored by Lynx Africa specifically? Not any of the other Lynxes. Got to be Africa.
well, that's the scent of childhood, isn't it? That's like you know, give yourself a little spray and then all of a sudden you just get flocked by women. So that is the one. Lynx, if you are listening, that's the one that we would like to be sponsored by. And yeah, let us know. Get in touch. Right. That's 15 minutes of chatting shit. Should we dive into the subject?
Yeah, let's do it. So, as you know, it's Halloween in 2 days. Right now is Halloween in 2 days. Think about it. I mean, it's not Halloween in 2 days for us, but if you're listening to this on a day it comes out, it is Halloween in 2 days. So, I thought we'd do a very spooky
Yes.
and shocking supply of stories. Well, procurement stories, but I couldn't think of how to say procurement with an S. Maybe if you got a lisp.
Spookurement.
Spookurement, that works.
Or supply pain. Supply pain. I'm so happy with that one. Come on, surely.
So I've got 3 small stories for you. Apparently you're a busy man and you've got to go off to do some busy man things in a bit. So
Gotta go, Greg's.
these are quite short stories. Yeah, they got your picture on the wall in Greg's, don't they?
They do, yeah. They do.
Don't serve this man again. Last time he robbed us.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's why. Did I tell you the story about the moment that happened last week about when I thought a fan approached me?
No.
Oh yeah. So basically, I thought someone came up to me. I'm working away, and someone said, "Are you Luke?" And obviously, like as soon as I hear that, I'm thinking, "No way, that's a fan, isn't it? That's someone who's heard my voice before on the pod, and now they've overheard me speaking." And turns out it was a colleague I work with who recognised my voice from a team school.
Oh.
So I thought we were big league. Yeah. Sorry. Right. Let's go to story number 1, and I'm gonna rate it out of 10 for how spooky it is at the end.
None of these are spooky at all, by the way.
Okay. How shocking they are. How about that? Or how much of a horror they are.
Yeah, do that one. So you said go to story 1. I'm actually going to go to story C, because that's my code for it. Which doesn't make sense to anyone else, but I thought I'd say it like that. So this is the unfortunate tragedy of the spooky hospital. So, the opening of the Edinburgh Sick Kids Hospital was delayed by 2 years into... Your reaction just put me off.
You don't open up a kids hospital for non-sick kids.
What do you mean?
If you open up a hospital, it's obviously for people who are sick, isn't it? You don't just send your child to hospital if they're healthy.
Sorry. It's locally it's referred to as the Sick Kids Hospital. The official name for it is the Royal Hospital for Children and Young People. So the opening of that hospital was delayed by 2 years in 2019 because of a error in a spreadsheet from 2012. So the spreadsheet error set the airflow requirements for critical care rooms at 4 air changes per hour instead of the required 10. This increased risk of infection. And one of the suppliers in the RFI stage pointed out this error, but nothing was done about it. And NHS Lothian, who was the authority, was under pressure to sign the contract, and no corrections were made to the spreadsheet. So the private consortium that was building the hospital, that pressure was because the private consortium that was building the hospital was facing insolvency, so they just basically had to accept an unfinished building to avoid paying out more money. And that spreadsheet error cost £16 million of remedial action.
Was the error the spreadsheet, the person who filled in the spreadsheet, or the person who received the response from the complainant, person who basically the person who raised the issue with it?
All three, I think.
So they're all negligent.
I think they're all
arseholes.
partly responsible. Yeah.
Fair enough. And that was a 16 million, did you say?
So yeah, the hospital was 150 mil to build, and then an extra 16 million was spent to fix some stuff.
This might sound stupid, but if you've got 150 M's, surely you would just spend like 10 M's of that on paracetamol and I don't know, cough syrup, dish them out to all the local kids, bag the rest.
Luke one for president right now. Healthcare sector, what's it called? Secretary.
Secchi, yeah.
Healthcare Secchi.
I like that. I don't like it. Obviously, I don't like that it happened. Feel for the kids. But as the story goes, it is a bit of a horror, isn't it? Just a simple spreadsheet mistake. 2 years, 16 M's, 8 out of 10
Yeah.
for absolute horror.
Okay. Moving on then. Well, segment. Oh, go on, sorry.
Quick lessons learned. Check your homework, because how often do we rush things for a deadline and try and pump it all out and then actually don't just get a second pair of eyes to look over it? I did that recently where I submitted my timesheets to work incorrectly, and it looked like I've been on paid leave for the last month. So yeah, no, I wasn't. No, I was fully working my sorry arse off. So I think just lessons learned, isn't it? Really, just no harm in getting people to double check what you're doing.
Yeah, and now I know what we're doing for the next procurement duck up. Your timesheet.
My timesheets. That's going to be riveting, isn't it?
So, what did the procurement mummy say when asked about their work? I'm just wrapping up some deals.
7 out of 10 for horror on that. No, that was all right. That was all right. I'm sure the procurement joke book probably hasn't got too many jokes in, so to find one that's kind of, Halloween based, yeah, respect it.
So,
right. Can I do the intro for horror number 2?
Yeah, go on.
Introducing the second spooky story of the day.
A case of malevolent vows. Ooh. So, this is a story in a local council. What the hell are you drinking, by the way?
Just some Hydro Boost electrolytes. Carry on.
It's a stein that's probably about the size of Luke One's head, filled with some bright pink, hot pink juice.
I do love my hot pink juice, yeah.
While you're chugging that away, I'll tell the story, which is, again, a case of the malevolent vows. A council housing department official colluded with her husband, who was a supplier of cleaning services. The supplier was initially only required to carry out a one-off cleaning job to the value of £900, but over the course of the following year had been paid £126,000 in various instalments. And the official didn't disclose any conflict of interest. And then later on, the council decided to analyse their spending to ensure the compliance. And this is when they found out that the supplier had been given 126 grand in the space of a year without any contract being put in place. So investigations happened and the emails were scanned and things like that. And then basically the person left just I think it was like they left the day before the disciplinary hearing was meant to start. So I guess nothing happened. And then the council
Brilliant.
ceased using the supplier and removed them from the contact list. And apparently a full file was shared with HMRC relating to suppliers' affairs.
So in essence, they kind of got away with it.
Well, from the things I could see, I couldn't see anyone being charged. Unless they're still investigating.
Okay. Well, a little less of a horror, I'd say. Actually, no. That sounds terrible. It was still a bit of a horror, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess. What do you find more horrible? Sick children or fraud?
Definitely fraud. So that's probably a 9 out of 10 then. Yeah, I guess my question to you is, obviously you're a young, budding procurement professional. What would you have done differently?
Got away with it. Whee! No, what would I have done differently? Well, I'm not married to a man who owns a cleaning company, so I'd like to think that I wouldn't have got involved in this in the first place. Or put a contract in place.
What if a supplier that you are working with mentions that someone they are married to is in another company that you happen to do business with?
What's the 4 Ds of SIPs? Disclose, delegate, distance, and drive away.
Did it actually drive away? I don't remember that one.
I
thought
know
it was
what
like
the 4th one is.
disassociate, wasn't it?
Isn't that like when you're drunk and you can't speak to people because you're so drunk?
Yeah, basically. So you just kind of you get on the
4 Ds
sesh.
drink.
Yeah. Get on the sesh and forget about it.
Well, we should probably do some sort of education and say what the 4 Ds are of SIPs.
Yeah. What's the biggest D?
4 Ds of I was trying not to make that joke. 4
Were you?
Ds of what's it called?
But you just put it on a plate
Conflict.
for me.
Declare. Wait, I don't
Yep.
think this is it. Discuss, deal with, and document. Those aren't the SIPs ones.
That's not it. No, that's probably something shit like a finance certification or something bollocks like that.
It's the Australian Council for International Development.
Yeah, rubbish.
Oh, here we go. Disclose, distance, delegate, and disassociate.
Get in.
He was right.
This is why
He's got the
absolutely won.
MSIPs. He's
Come
got
on.
MSIPs for a reason.
Yes, let's get on it.
So, is that what you wanted to say on that story?
Yeah, no, just wanted to ask you kind of, what you thought about it. And the 4 Ds is a nice little bit of education at the end of a shocking story.
Yeah. My question is, why did the haunted supplier get dropped? They kept ghosting all of their clients. Whee!
Jesus.
It's such a weird app.
No, I like it. I like the theme. Obviously, Christmas around the corner as well. So if you like what you
Christmas
hear, we might find out if Volute One's feeling generous, if he's on the naughty or nice list.
So, this is the case of a spooky serial spender.
Is it my missus?
Wait and see. So, there was a man. We still.
Okay, rules her out.
There was a man working for a local council who used company's money on some personal transport to the value of £18,000. And they were able to secure approval by asking a fellow colleague for signature. So, sounds good so far, right? Happy with that?
Doesn't. No.
Oh, okay. Well, on another occasion, the same person arranged for invoices to be paid to a gardening company that he shared a residential address with. You still happy with that?
Yep. Signed off, no worries.
Right. The gardening company's bank account was identical to the bank account that this individual's salary was paid into.
Okay. Can happen.
And the council paid over 20 grand to this gardening company. So that's all good. Heartwarming story so far, right?
Yeah. Nothing wrong with this yet. I don't see why it's a horror yet.
So there were other instances of fraud that occurred before the council realised, meaning that a total of 60k was spent with 7 different suppliers. And at no time did the approval officers that authorised the transaction have any sight of the invoices that they approved. So, good so far? Yeah? Happy?
Yep.
Following a whistleblowing referral relating to another matter, inquiries were made which identified concerns regarding the actions of this transport manager. Several staff members faced a disciplinary action, and it was found that the transport manager had secured his role with fraudulent references, and a thorough reference check would have revealed the individual was actually a serial fraudster, and a 3-year custodial sentence was served.
See, now I've got a problem.
Well, it should have been 2.
Yeah, 3's a bit harsh, isn't it?
No, what are your thoughts on that one then?
I mean, frauders are going to fraud, right? That's inevitable. I think every large company or sizable operation probably has someone doing some sort of scheming, attempted fraud, fiddling their expenses. Maybe they took a longer way home just to get a few more miles in, that sort of thing. But it's down to the due diligence and the checks that you put in place. We call ourselves prop blockers as a joke quite a lot of the time, but actually this is why you have finance approvers and reviewers, and why you have procurement to look at the suppliers and do due diligence before you just onboard them. So I'm guessing they shouldn't have passed the onboarding check because, one, there's a clear conflict of interest. He's getting paid by them, and now he's onboarding a company that he's registered, same registered address, same bank details, everything like that. So I don't know. Well, when did this happen? Is this like just a historic?
I don't actually know.
The reason I'm asking, because it sounds like it's something that might have happened in like the 50s or 60s.
I don't know. It's to do with the local council.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably recent. You're probably going to tell me it's like the last sort of 5-10 years, but it's just crazy that someone would have such a poor system for supplier engagement.
A few of the things that I'm seeing online say 2016.
Yeah, see, that's
2018.
tragic, isn't it? That's tragic. That's a 10 out of 10. That for me. That's the biggest horror. Yeah.
Big money horror.
Yeah, because I think the other two. So the spreadsheet mistake, you can kind of go, it's shit, and you should have listened when someone reported it. But we're all humans. We all make mistakes. This is like someone is frauding you like in multiple different areas, and you failed all of your due diligence checkpoints in not just your procurement department, but also your finance department and your probably your project management department and your accountancy. Your receipting. How are you receipting invoices without seeing the invoices? When the guy came to do gardening services, did he actually do any gardening services? Did you notice he wasn't at his office when the gardener was there? This is their
You
accommodation.
never saw them both in the same room. It's so
yeah,
suspicious.
exactly.
Now I think back on it now, you know, they did look quite similar. He just wore a fake moustache and put sunglasses on when he.
That's it. And the grass never seemed to get cut. But yeah, nobody said anything. So that for me is like the biggest shock, because I think that just shows that council is just run so badly. And you can't even argue lack of funding. Like, even the basics should be done right. You shout out to the Caitlin episode, but if you throw it back to Caitlin, even when she started her career, she was looking at the invoicing and making sure that the kind of receipting matched the invoice and all that good stuff. So it is literally the basics, and she's in public sector, so it's important stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So you're giving it the big L1, 10 out of 10.
Yes,
You're bad.
Fully 10 out of 10. Horror.
So that's all the stories we have today. Oh, did I hear you say encore?
Nope.
Oh, well, encore. If the people are asking for an encore, then I could maybe do one more story. Got your hand up.
Yep. Quick question.
You in the front.
For our listeners who don't have any SIPs and obviously clearly don't have brain cells, what's an encore?
It's when you like my voice so much that you want me to come back and tell more stories.
So I think then the poll for today's spooky episode is going to be: do you like Luke 10's voice?
Wow. Is there even any point in having two options? Might as well just have yes.
No, and definitely not. And whichever. If yes is popular, then we'll give him more screen time, airtime, ear time. If no's more popular, then we'll get him a voice lift.
Leave the podcast forever.
We'll send you to Turkey to get a new voice box.
A VBL, voice box lift.
Yep, that classic VBL.
I'll get my hair sorted while I'm there as well.
That cost a fortune even in Turkey. Right, let's jump in then to this encore that you've planned, bizarrely.
No, just what the people want. So, again, I seem to be targeting the local councils today. It's a story from a local council. The council agreed to train 10 people so that they would have a better chance at securing some jobs with a local asbestos removal firm that needed some qualified people. The council's employment team arranged for a course to take place through an external provider. It later transpired during an external audit that the consultant that was due to start the training was not appropriately qualified and was also the partner of the person at the council level that had arranged the training. Furthermore, the consultant was listed as a disqualified director on Company House documents, and the contracted company itself was also not registered to provide asbestos removal training as is required by UK law, and had supplied the council with a false VAT registration number. And it was only because of external audits that the information came out. Further investigations showed that the council had failed to carry out proper due diligence when selecting suppliers, and if the training had actually gone ahead, the certificate issued would have basically been worthless, and in the event of an accident, the council would have been held responsible, or at least partly responsible. Scary story.
Wow. That's like getting your medical training, isn't it? That. What do you call it at work? The medical professional, medically trained. The people at work who are medically...
Yeah, first aid.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, getting your first aid training from someone who's not qualified, and then obviously having to put what you've learned into practice and finding out that when you're giving mouth to mouth, you don't suck the toe, and kind of wondering why it's not working.
Yeah, it's like like them old cars where you used to have to crank it at the front.
Yeah,
It's not like that. You don't have to twist the ankle around.
That's it. And
Get the
obviously,
heart
they
beating again.
only need CPR if it's serious, right? You don't just give your colleague CPR because they're looking a bit under the weather. Just sitting there at their desk looking a bit glum. Bang, CPR.
Enforce CPR.
Yeah.
You need this. This is for you. This should save your life.
They're thinking, oh, piss off, Luke. Come on. I'm chill. I'm just trying to relax. I like that. I like that story.
Nice.
I actually quite enjoyed it. I think spooky wise, horror wise, probably another 10, isn't it? It's a bit of a shocker. Another council not doing any due diligence.
You've got to be looking into the company. If there's a disqualified director, you should be able to find that out fairly easily. Should you? I don't know. I guess so.
So these two stories, the council ones, obviously public sector. Do you reckon we need to get Caitlin back on and grill her for some answers here? Because it's unacceptable procurement practices, isn't it?
Yeah, she is. I mean, in terms of people we've had on this podcast, she might be the only person who is currently employed in the public sector. So this is all 100% her fault, right? That's how it works.
100%. It's definitely the same area, and she works for both of those unknown local councils, clearly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So do you think we get her back on and we roast her together?
Yes. What a good idea.
Yeah. Caitlin, we're calling you out. Get back on here and let's get some answers.
So that was the end of our Halloween episode. Do you feel suitably scared? Are your timbers shivered?
Yes, I am fully shivered and actually quite impressed. Thank you for doing some planning today. We do like it when there's planning going into an episode. I think we've got some more cracking episodes lined up that have some great guests with some different experiences to what we've seen already. And we've got some series. We all love the series, right? So the procurement cycle series, the stakeholder management. More episodes on those coming out soon. So there's definitely some juicy content still to be released for your ear pleasure. However, today's one, hopefully, fairly short, fairly sweet. Happy Halloween.
And if you've enjoyed it, give us a 5-star. We only appreciate 5-star ratings. Anything less than that, just if you've got anything less to vote than 5-star, go on Procurement Says No podcast, give them lower rating. Well, you know, maybe they won't appreciate that, but they do say all publicity is good publicity, so shout out to them. But mainly give us a 5-star rating.
Or else.
Brilliant.
Right. Well, thank you for having us in your ears today, and we will see you later.
See you later.
See ya.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you.
Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did. You coward. You make me sick. Your weakness is pathetic.